Good morning, children. Today we are going to study the story entitled The Snake and the Mirror. It is written by By-Vikom Muhammad Basheer. He was a renowned author from Kerala. He was a humanist, freedom fighter, novelist, and short story writer. He cared to the needs of the common man in his writings. He was awarded with the Padma Shri in 1982. This is a frightening story told by a homeopathic doctor to the narrator and his friends in a humorous way. The story has an unusual ending. The narrator and his friends were sitting in the clinic of the doctor. The doctor had just started his practice. The young doctor told the narrator and others about his encounter with a snake in his house and how a mirror helped him escape death. The doctor further said, after having taken his dinner in a hotel, he entered his room. It was not electrified. He heard the familiar sound of rats scurrying through the beams of the roof. He heard the sound 3 times. He was not much bothered about the noises made by the rats, as he was habituated to hearing such noises. It seemed that he shared the room with the rats. He had a few clothes and very little money. This shows that his economic condition was not very good. Then he made his bed and lay down, but could not sleep as it was very hot. Then he went out to the veranda for a little air, but the air was not blowing. Then he went back into the room and sat down on the chair. He took out a book entitled The Materia Medica, opened it at the table on which stood the lamp and a large mirror. A small comb lay beside the mirror. He felt tempted to look into the mirror. He took a look into the mirror. The doctor was a great admirer of beauty in those days and believed in making himself look handsome. He was unmarried and a doctor. He picked up the comb and ran it through his hair and adjusted the parting so that it looked straight and neat. Again he heard the sound from above. Taking a close look at his face in the mirror, he took some important decisions. The first earth shaking decision that the doctor took was to shave daily and grow a thin mustache to look handsome. The second decision was to smile the way he was smiling by looking into the mirror to look more handsome. He was handsome, he was a bachelor, and after all, a doctor. He thought that he was one of the most eligible bachelors. Then another lovely thought came to his mind. He would marry a woman doctor who had plenty of money and a good medical practice. She would be fat so that if he made a silly mistake and needed to run away, she would not be able to run after him and catch him. However, the woman he actually married was slender, who could run like a sprinter. There is a contrast between the kind of wife he wanted and the kind of wife he actually got. This contrast adds to the humor of the story. With such thoughts in mind, the doctor resumed his seat in the chair in front of the table. Suddenly there came a dull thud, as if a rubber tube had fallen to the ground. He turned around to take a look. As soon as he turned, a fat snake fell on his shoulder from above. It may have come into the house due to the presence of many rats there. The snake coiled around the doctor's left arm above the elbow. The snake's hood was only 3 to 4 inches away from the doctor's face. The doctor kept sitting absolutely still in his chair in the face of danger which was so close by. He smiled feebly at himself. He realized that he was just a poor, foolish, and a stupid doctor. If the snake bit him, he did not have any medicine in his house to save himself. Earlier, he thought that he was a smart, eligible bachelor. This shows how his thoughts changed. The sequence of events also adds humor to the story. Just then, the snake turned its hood and saw its reflection in the mirror on the table. The snake unwound itself from the doctor's arms and crept over to the table to have a closer look at itself. The snake was fascinated by its reflection in the mirror. It wanted to enjoy its reflection by going closer to the mirror. The doctor asked himself if it was admiring its own beauty, if it was trying to make an important decision about growing a mustache or using eyeshadow and mascara or wearing vermilion spot on its forehead. The doctor did not know anything for certain. Neither did he know whether it was a male or female. As the snake had freed the doctor, he got an opportunity to escape from the house. He ran very fast and went to a friend's house. After taking a bath there, he spent the night at his friend's place. The next morning, the narrator went to his room with his friend. He had decided to vacate the house immediately because he was afraid that the snake would come there again. When he reached his room, he found that some thieves had stolen most of his belongings. They left behind only one of his dirty vests. Thank you.